Welcome to week one. It's here, folks. We are 25 hours and 15 minutes, right? Is it 7:15 kickoff? I'm so excited. So excited. All right, folks. Hey, hi, right here, Ronald Charles Harlow Jr. To my left, Robert Keeler. He is along for the ride in week one. We're going to get you ready. How was your draft? How was your draft? You had a lot of fun? You had two.
I always have fun.
With your crew. Again,
my crew,
a lot of, you said crazies. Some crazy drafters. Even your wife crazy. But a winner. A winner, though.
Yeah, she's a winner.
Yeah,
she had a good draft. Everybody. It was a lot of fun. You know how fun draft day is.
I do. Most important day of the year, as we do know.
Yep.
But again, so stick around. We're going to give you a solid 60 minutes right now and live. So if you've got questions, we'll check them at the commercial break. Get them ready. Drop them in anytime during the week. We'll get back to you. Tell your friends, of course. And we're going to talk about the week that was, talk about our drafts a little bit, then we're going to jump out for acknowledge our sponsors, and then come back to the meat of the show. We got some great stuff for you. Keeler's Keys, week one. Where's the bell? A winning segment, none other like it, right? A unique segment across the land. It's like he finds things under rocks, under stones. He's got like a fantasy metal detector, and we find the gold is what that one is. We're going to talk some waivers. Why not? Week one, we'll still have them tomorrow, right? We're going to tell you who to get drafted. And use this, of course, as a precursor for your watch lists. Obviously, Robert says he's got some teams that only have 15 or 16 guys. That's way short. I've got 20, and I still got 5 guys I want. So it's nuts. But the week that was, I guess the big news of the week so far, again, as we're moving into a pretty quiet week, no games, is the cutting of Latavius Murray, I think, is the biggest story, other than any injuries to speak of.
Yep.
A couple here, Godwin, and Wentz is back, and Barkley's okay, and I still want to play him. But Latavius Murray got cut.
Yep.
He was probably a 15th rounder at worst, backing up. They look like a cost-cutting move.
I mean, the Saints got major cap problems, and there was talk that Murray was going to get cut when they made the first sets of cuts because they were like, we can't afford them. And then that's why all of a sudden Sean Payton started talking to Tony Jones, which we talked about 2 weeks ago, and then we talked about Tony Jones being maybe a factor if Murray did get cut. Well, they didn't cut him, so that everybody thought he would make the team, but then they said, at the last minute, we can't get under the cap. We need you to take less money. He's like, I'm not. He's only making $3 million. So it wasn't like they were at, he was at 10 or something. He was only at 3, but they still needed him to take a pay cut, and he's like, nope. He's gonna catch on with another.
Right, hang on to him.
Right.
If you dropped him, try to get him back. We think he's gonna. Yeah. I mean, the logical sign says where? I mean, Baltimore number one, maybe Atlanta,
Baltimore. I really doubt he wants to go to like the
Giants,
the Giants or the Houstons or the Jacksonville.
He could take
because of the situations.
He wants to go to a winner.
He wants to go somewhere where he could probably try to win. I mean, he doesn't really want to go to like Detroit or the Bears. No.
Well, we'll talk about Tony Jones Jr. in the waiver portion, but it sounds to me like he's going to be that next guy. But again, you can talk about flexing him all you want. He doesn't flex well. He had his big 2 games when Murray has his big games when Kamara's out. It's very similar to the Mattson deal. Mattson has his big games when Cook is out.
Well, it's hard. I mean, it's hard when you've got to direct backup to a running back that's 60-70% back. When do you play him? Unless it's a bye week time.
And you're throwing darts.
You're throwing darts. You got injuries where you're like, or you're hoping, what do they call it? I read this 1,000 times this week, the lottery ticket player, right? The player that you pick up, and then he suddenly becomes a starter and rushes for 1,200 yards, and you're like, that's like when finding a lottery ticket, right?
It happens, but not often.
It happens, but not very often. Like James Robinson was probably a lottery ticket last year.
Right.
Somebody that you found off waivers first week, or even before,
not me, I drafted
early, and then they became a top 10 rusher. How often do you do
I drafted him.
So
I drafted Jones.
smart Ron over here.
Last pick of the draft.
But I mean that's what they call a lottery ticket, right? You draft him late, you love that guy. Player in your lineup.
That's why I love the segment. I love the segment that we do called the last pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Julius Thomas, last pick of the draft.
Oh,
remember that name?
Yeah, I remember.
That dude.
Denver.
That year, I put him in a package deal and not much more, and I ended up with Calvin Johnson back for the last. I'm not kidding you. I had to give him a little bit more. But if you look back at that particular year when Thomas was a rookie in Peyton's first year in Denver, Calvin Johnson had a bit of a lull there. I got in there and I attacked when he had I'm not kidding. You know how I am. I am that way. I am. I attacked him when he had a couple of bad weeks, and I knew the guy was pissed off.
You remember?
I love reminiscing. This draft day, we got to talk about this.
I remember I had Trent Green, and remember Trent Green got clobbered.
Right, and then Kurt Warner became everything.
Well, no, not with the Rams. When he got clobbered when he was with Kansas City, and I didn't have a quarterback, and I'm sitting there like, and I packaged Mike Bell, who had like 200 yards rushing the first 2 games with Denver, and I packaged some other guy, and Tom Brady hadn't thrown a touchdown the first 2 games.
Right.
So I went, I know this owner will be unhappy with Tom Brady. Trade me Tom Brady. And, of course, Tom Brady threw for like 30-some touchdowns.
And the Mike Bell was, of course, because TD got hurt. Because TD got hurt, right?
Yeah, TD got hurt. 200 yards to 250 by the end of the
year. And then it was the Richardson guy. There was a guy behind him, Richardson. That's crazy. What a memory.
But I mean, that'll be next week's segment. How to jump on a player that's struggling and take advantage.
Right on. More on the Weekly Buzz again. Back to Baltimore. We'll just say I still believe Tyson Williams is the top, one of the top waiver wire pick, at least for the first month. He's a now guy. If you need him, I think he's going to be a good compliment to Gus Edwards. They run it so much. And again, we got Bateman hurt. We got the rest of the wideouts are limited. He's going to be good at least until they draft Murray. At least
they get Murray.
All right,
Le'Veon Bell's a non-factor. He's on the practice squad. He's just a body.
A team we have not given really any pub to. No talking in the entire. This is our, believe it or not. How about it, folks? This is our 5th show already. Our 6th show will be tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So tune in for that for another hour of game by game analysis. We have not talked about Houston at all this entire right. Really, we know nobody.
We have not.
No, we know it's there. We don't give them any time. But I think it's time to face the fact that Tyrod Taylor isn't the worst quarterback ever. They're going to throw the ball a lot, and there's going to be some value there. Now, everybody thinks it's going to be Cooks, obviously.
Right.
But you got to say, it's 6'4", Nico Collins. I know that's crazy. He's going to have a starting role right away. They cut Kiki Cutie. They have nobody else. Nico Collins is in there. So I don't think he got – back in the day when we had 14-team leagues, guaranteed anybody that was a number 2 on anybody's team
was drafted.
Well, you have to try. You got to have a guy just to have a body.
Right.
10-team league. Again, take a good look on your waiver wire for Nico Collins. At least, again, watch this kind of things. Let's talk about the drafts a little bit. What's going on? Again, we're talking about the week on the field, in the news. Dak says it's going to be better, by the way. Dak's going to be better than with the last week 5. And on draft day, I thought Naheem Hines went extremely high. He's more of a last round, who's this guy, right? Or isn't he? Yeah. I'm just wondering. Was he second or third in receptions? A third behind McKissick and Eckler, right?
Right.
What do you think? Why do you want? I wouldn't want him on my team. I don't want a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's getting hyped up because there was some blurbs about how he spoke up how he wants the ball more often. They said they're going to design plays downfield for him.
Where do you play him
involved with the passing game? I mean, once again, he's a bye week.
I hear you.
And an injury. When you get to the point where you're like, well, I could go with that PPR back as my second.
Right.
back.
I hear you.
That's all I have.
He's a floor guy. He's a floor guy that all the wide receiver guys. They're going to get you. They'll get you to maybe 8 or 10. They're not going to goose you.
I would have to be so desperate to put a running back in my flex. Because in most PPR leagues, you'd rather have a wide receiver. So
I love that.
Unless you've got 3 great running backs, which I usually don't, because I try to load up on receivers. But to me, a good receiver trumps like a PPR back by far. So, right?
I also it's nobody. I got I think 15th round in each draft of my 20 rounds. I took Marcus Callaway. No, there was. I mean, there was no. Nobody was there. I mean, guys like Mooney were gone. Marvin Jones Jr. was gone, going late. Everybody, the thumb of threes were all gone, and nobody wanted the number one. He's going to be the number one wide receiver on a Jameis Winston team. No,
right. I got Callaway in a league that I got him later in the draft. I looked up, I went, nobody's drafting Callaway. I think people get caught up and they don't believe what they're seeing, kind of thing. Like, oh, it's all we've seen these preseason.
They must know something. I'm buying
somebody
some hype.
else knows something is all hype. But then they'll buy hype on another player.
Right.
And
Troutman got drafted still, and he was not even going to play. He's not even going to play.
Troutman
you don't even know who that is. Who's a Troutman, dude? You don't know who Troutman is.
Right.
You don't know who Adam Troutman is.
Big Adam. but I mean, I think people trying to talk themselves out of things. So
I love him. How do you sit him? How do you sit him this week? How do you sit him?
Well, I sit him because I got Cup, Ridley, and Tyreek Hill.
It's a tough sit though.
Well, I mean, but if I
volume alone,
I'm probably the rare person, but at the very least, you put him in your flex.
I'm going to talk to you about
They're going to throw the ball against Green Bay. I mean, they're going to have to. So
CeeDee Lamb's my number. CeeDee Lamb's my number 3 in one of my leagues.
It's crazy. It's crazy talk. I got Cooper Kupp's my number 3.
He was going. He went the second round in both of my drafts.
Oh my god! I got three
aces. I love Cooper Kupp this year. Wish I had one. All right, Saquon they said is going to be ready. Galladay maybe not. We know he's going to be on a pitch count.
He's going to be on. There's no way Barkley carries the ball 20 times. I mean, he's going to play. Obviously, they're going to let him play, but if they let him carry the ball 20, 25 times, and he's not in game shape. Joe Judge is I don't know.
Not smart.
He's not smart.
All right, let's talk about our drafts a little bit. What happened in your draft? Where did I put a lot of players that nobody wanted? Nobody wanted Dak. He went in the 7th in one league. I got him in the 8th in another. Right. I had a draft where Matt Ryan didn't get drafted. Fitz didn't get drafted. Tevin Coleman didn't get drafted. Players that nobody wanted. Juju, Claypool, Gallup, Rager didn't get drafted. Ertz didn't get drafted in either one.
Wow.
Either one.
MVS didn't get drafted in one, but I went back and already picked him up. Cole Beasley didn't get drafted. Will Fuller didn't get drafted. Jarvis Landry didn't get drafted. I think you're seeing the pattern. There's a lot of people leave those kind of secondary, middling receivers.
No chance for that, break for a big one. No chance in a long one.
But if you need one, they're out there on the waiver wire. And then McKissick didn't get. T.Y. Hilton didn't get drafted, put on the IR. Sterling Shepard, Gio Bernard didn't get drafted.
I had Gio that didn't get drafted on one. That's true.
Mike Gesicki didn't get drafted.
What? Wait, what? That's insane. We all think Gesicki's going to have a good year.
I mean, as a very least, somebody who picks one of those lower tight ends picks. You get 2 of them. Then somebody should have put Gesicki on their bench.
Right, with Higbee or Tanyan.
Gabriel Davis didn't get drafted.
That's insane.
All the quarterbacks,
a lot of them
because we got 2 quarterback leagues. A lot of quarterbacks people stretch for because they're afraid to be stuck without their second quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Burrow were in the 8th round. Baker Mayfield went in the 5th round as a backup quarterback. Mac Jones went 10th round. Aaron Rodgers got taken in the 3rd round.
Wow. Damian Harris went in the 3rd round in one of mine. Damian Harris.
My buddy. I had the first pick in that draft, so I took McCaffrey. My buddy took Patrick Mahomes, and then he came back with Kyler Murray. He got his 2 quarterbacks really quick, and I hope he does well. But I don't know how that plan's going to work out.
Kyler Murray is a headache. I don't want a headache. I've had him. I had my moment. We dated.
Some of the guys who fell. I'll talk about some of the guys who fell in the draft. Najee Harris went as the 28th pick. Most drafts he's going about the 18th overall pick. It would be about, second into the 3rd.
Your league's watching our show.
Yep. Tony Pollard went in the 18th round. Mike Williams went in the 18th round. DJ Chark went in the 20th round. Everybody forgot he was out there. I mean, he's going in this
Yeah,
in the
12th
he's
round.
going off like at the 122nd, like 12th round. He went in the 20th or 11th round. He's going off on. Anyway, Myles Gaskin went in the 9th round.
That's crazy.
I got him in the 9th round.
Dude.
I looked up and went.
I couldn't get him in the 9th round. You know why? Because I would have took him in the 7th. I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. I couldn't possibly do it.
I looked up and I said, "Why is Myles Gaskin
my
still
God.
available?"
He was,
I'll jump.
I was lucky to get him in the 5th round in one league.
Yeah.
Lucky.
And then Marvin Jones went in the 20th round.
I love Marvin Jones. 13th round. I just look back at him.
He went in the 20th round. So there was a lot of dudes fell. I think people fall through the cracks, and you just get caught up in. I got caught up in my own little world.
You got to.
You look up and you go, "Why is that guy not drafted?"
Right.
I like I said, I had the 7. Well, I had 7 picks coming to me, and all 6 people in front of me took running backs. So I went, Tyreek Hill's here. Thank you.
And the 2nd round,
Then
late.
everybody took.
Wait. At the back-to-back from the number 1 hole?
No. This is my other draft.
Okay, sorry.
And then when it came back around to me, they took 5 more running backs. So 11 running backs got taken, and I took 2 wide receivers. So
and you got Tyreek and Ridley.
And then I came back with Waller, and then I came back with Cooper Kupp.
That's like
I got Stafford and Herbert as my quarterbacks.
It's probably 220 catches.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
30 touchdowns.
It'll be fine. And then I got my running backs and my team, and
I'm ready to rock.
Let's go.
I feel like I'm overly confident. Am I wrong? I feel like the thing is, folks, I didn't get a lot of my guys. I didn't get T. Higgins. I didn't get Javante.
Yeah.
Again, I got a draft tomorrow. It could happen. But I feel like I got guys better than that. I got James Robinson in the 5th round. I'm okay.
Well,
I got Pitts in the 6th round. I'm okay.
You feel like you got value. I mean, that's what you feel.
Yeah, the value. I feel like I got my value.
Your team feels good when you're like, well, I expected to not get that guy or have to get him earlier. I got him when I got him, and I mean, people are buying into this running back thing. They're really buying into the hammer the running backs early. When the world goes one way, I pivot the other way. So I took wide receivers. So.
I like it. All right, let's jump out real quick and recognize our sponsors. We've got a lot of great folks involved here with Christine Reiser from Loan Depot. We've got Dave Tarosi, our friends from Baxter Printing. We've got our friends from Apex that help us with Humane Indiana. And then we've got our friends, of course, from Springer Realty and Jeff Detlow and Tim Galamos. We love those guys. We love all the folks that are involved. If you'd like to get involved, just let us know. And we are looking for a place to do a live remote maybe somewhere, right? During mid-season or something. Sounds fun. All right, let's hear from Christina and the rest, and we'll be right back.
Home, you want a local mortgage lender who has the answers when you need them. In this fast-paced housing market, when is now. And your lender is Christine Reiser from Loan Depot. Her years of well-rounded experience, including time as a realtor, will put your stress to rest. Call Christine Reiser at 219-789-8313. Christine is available days, nights, and weekends to take you from pre-approval to loan closing. For a conventional mortgage, FHA, VA, USDA, or if you need help with down payment assistance programs, she's got you covered. Dial 219-789-8313 if you're looking to buy a home in Indiana, Illinois, or Arizona. Let Christine Reiser and Loan Depot be your guide. NMLS number 1447958. Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
Baxter Printing is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Lake County, Indiana for over 50 years. They specialize in commercial and political printing like brochures, mailings, banners, and signs. Now located at 311 North Broad Street in Griffith, the folks at Baxter know how to get your job done right and on time. Call 219-923-1999 or visit us at baxterprint.com and see what Baxter Printing can do for you.
All right, folks, back in the saddle again. I do love that song. If you want to check them out on Spotify, that's our friends, by the way. Stern approval, and they totally rap. They definitely do. Ron Harlow here. Robert Kebs Keeler here. We're going to take a quick run through the waiver wire. Players
kind of crazy.
I know.
Week,
people are doing it.
You got to think about it.
You definitely do. People. There's plenty of folks who made transactions. Again, I drafted a weekend prior, so we already had a waiver wire. A lot of folks moving players already that they didn't want. If you know you got an anchor there, like I drafted Tariq Cohen in one. We've already launched him because there just wasn't enough room for me to get. I needed Alex Collins, of course, because I have Chris Carson, so I think he's the backup. But all right, let's take a look at what we've got. Or again, this is a great starting list for you. These are my top 5 in no matter order, whichever way you'd want them. I think Robert might want to move one of them around at least. Maybe move MVS up there. I got Gabe Davis, Tyson Williams from Baltimore, Giovanni Bernard, Amar Ross St. Brown, and Marcus Valdez-Scantling. Now, I say Amon St. Brown because they have nobody. They literally have no one there. He probably didn't get drafted in any. Did he get drafted?
He did not get drafted.
But he's definitely a watch list guy. And if you need a wideout already, like if you've got Galladay and you took Galladay, and gosh darn it, why did you take Galladay?
Why would you?
What you OBJ? You took OBJ too? Oh my gosh, you got it. You better take
two receivers. You're in trouble.
You better look at Amar Ross St. Brown then, because or Donnie People, or where's Donnie Peeps? Like Donovan People Jones got to be in. You got to get him in there.
My gosh.
I heard that's my 5. You got a 5? Or anybody that I have that you would love to have.
All right, I'll go on.
Who do you agree with? Who do you agree with that would be near the top? Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis, MVS. I love MVS. With the Green Bay.
Let's I'll tell you the blurb. We should say the blurb. I can't believe I didn't screenshot. I'm gonna find it for you tonight. So it was such a great thing to read because I was telling him, Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna like that guy. He likes Devontae. He likes Randall Cobb. He's gonna throw it to who he wants to throw it to, Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers said probably the nicest thing I ever heard him say about any player on his team.
Right.
He said that MVS is a professional wide receiver now, but he's taking it seriously, and he is no doubt locked down the number 2 target on
that Green
on
Bay
a
team.
Hall of Fame quarterback team.
Yeah.
So that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds real good.
Professional means he's figured out how to catch the ball.
Right.
The stone hands are over.
And run the routes and be where he's supposed to be.
Because the legs are there. We know the legs are there, which is God-given. You can't really ask, right? Everybody wants to run as fast as they can. He just can really do it well.
Ron's finally coming to the party.
I
like it.
I have him. In one. Again, just the top guys, or whatever.
I'd probably have Tony Jones from New Orleans
Jones
now.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'd probably have I might have Wayne Gallman now that he's on Atlanta, and Paris Campbell from the Colts. Now that Hilton's going to be out, it's going to be Pittman and Campbell. So I like Campbell, and probably like you said, Tyson
Williams from Baltimore.
Williams for Baltimore. So the Latavius Murray thing kind of straightens out. MVS. I mean, there's some guys that can help you. I mean,
right now,
there's guys that you can put on your bench. Guys that a couple of these guys could probably be your flex players.
Week 1.
Week 1. So, and I mean, it's like every draft. There's 10. If you're in a 10-team league, there's 10 people who go, "Wow, I really like this team. This team is looking good." Well, nobody's team is that great that you can't keep building off the waiver wire. I already picked up MVS and I picked up Latavius Murray already.
Who did you drop to get these players?
I picked up to pick up Latavius Murray. I dropped Michael Carter from the Jets.
That's a risk. That's a risky, pricey drop.
Pricey drop, but Carter's going to be that down the road player, and I'm looking
to win now.
And if Murray gets that job in Baltimore, that's a big deal. like we talked about, there's a lot of.
And you got Gus, so in that league. So
and
it's
I got Gus.
It's
so
a good way to
there
back
you
it
go.
up.
And I had my boy Edwards from the Vegas.
Brian Edwards.
And Brian Edwards. And then I said, you know what? MVS is an upgrade. Because I didn't realize he didn't get drafted.
All right, well, you've convinced me because I think I got Brian Edwards in that same league.
And I'm like, I better go back and get MVS. But I like Edwards too. I mean, I think, somebody's I like MVS
Derek
better.
Carr or Aaron Rodgers?
Right. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like the situation. I like MVS.
Bears D's not that good.
Yeah,
Minnesota's D's not that good.
Detroit's D's.
Definitely
D not
really
that good. So.
Oh, I better check the board. Maybe someone's asking us a question. They could be, They could.
I always get texts like, "Hey, your head's cut off" or something. No, I'm joking.
Stay close. Stay close, brother.
Oh, stay close. God knows you don't want to cut my head off. But
no way.
I think there's some guys out there, and I think there's some guys you drafted that you go. Everybody looks at their team and go, maybe I shouldn't have took that guy. Everybody has that guy in the back end of their roster that you play with, right?
Right.
The guy that is expendable in your eyes for something better. So those are the guys you drop to pick up these kind of guys. I had Ramondre Stevenson from the Patriots, but they said he dislocated his thumb.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
And he might play, but I was like, okay, we'll take a wait and see on him. And but I think he got a pretty decent list. It's hard to hammer the waiver wire there
before you get to see it.
Any games
and nobody played. So many people are like we're on a whim. I mean, the consensus number one was McCaffrey, and he didn't even take the field. I mean,
so
that is a hard game to play.
I mean, we're all excited about waivers and we're pushing forward, but you got to see snap counts. You got to see who's playing in the sets, who's playing who's the goal line back, who's playing at the goal line, who gets the touchdown.
Like I'm interested in seeing a team that's so good that has Super Bowl aspirations. I believe they're third in the power rankings. If Buffalo Bills can put a running back out there, aren't you interested to find out maybe if either? I don't have it. I'm not there. I want to see it though. Obviously.
Well, the thing about Buffalo,
Zach Moss got to come or not.
The thing about Buffalo, and I didn't get any shares of Josh Allen. In the preseason, they were working on their no huddle. They were working on like that New England no huddle where the run is a secondary thought. They said Josh Allen could set records for passing if they go with that style of offense where they're just like, that old run and shoot that get up to the line of scrimmage, let's get the ball and throw it. I think their running backs are just average. You're not going to see anybody. They didn't go in the offseason and get an improvement on their running backs. They still got Singletary and Moss, and they're both kind of.
And Josh is going to run like he does.
Josh is going to run around. He's got the receivers. They got a little upgrade at receiver.
If there's a team that I want to put a few dollars on this early to get some decent odds to win the Super Bowl, I like him.
A lot of people like Josh Allen for MVP, like him for maybe a records. Have one of those 50 touchdown seasons. And fantasy.
And guys aren't drafting Gabriel Davis or Cole Beasley. Or no one drafted them Dawson Knox, right?
Nobody took Sanders. Nobody took Emmanuel Sanders.
I guarantee Diggs doesn't get 50 touchdowns.
Right. Diggs is not going to get 50 touchdowns.
I can't believe none of those guys. I mean, I can't believe I don't have Gabe Davis.
I don't have Gabriel Davis either. Right now,
he's available.
I feel like I don't have room for him.
But, I do. I feel stupid.
He could be a huge player for them.
I feel naked.
If you're the third receiver on a team that throws for 50 touchdowns,
you're good.
You're gonna have good. You're gonna be good.
You're gonna get double digits, maybe.
Yep.
All right. I break down by each category of player for waivers that I like. I'm baffled. I really do think Teddy Bridgewater is at least a number 2. He's got great wide receivers on a team that's the team's going to have the ball a lot. Defense is going to hold him. He might be rusty in the red zone, which is why I think if you want the super sleeper kicker, Brandon McManus could be. Again, the defense is going to get him in spots too. The kicker could be. I'm crazy to talk kicker, but
not that we talk fantasy kickers, but he was the only kicker I think with over 50-plus touchdowns. Or touchdowns, 50-yard field goal plus, which you get the bonus for with your kicker. He had 10 of them last year. So huge leg.
And light air.
They said they'll let him try a 70-yard field goal maybe this year.
So I like Bridgewater first of who's available. Zach Wilson's still available in a few. Fitz available in a few. And then I got Derek Carr in that order. if you want to add a quarterback. And then my watch list has Garoppolo, Wentz, Sam Darnold, and Tyrod Taylor on it. The rest of them I don't want. You can keep the rest, but that's the 4 I have.
You mean you don't have Daniel Jones on
no,
your watch
or
list?
No, or Tua. I don't have Tua. I'm not a Tua
Good
guy.
call.
Yeah, I do. I know. Yeah, Daniel Jones is going to shoot up by Denver's defense. Wait till we get to the wagering portion.
What's over
tomorrow.
under on turnovers on Daniel Jones? I say it's
2.5.
I'm going over. I'm going with 3. Now that's fumbles and picks. We'll record. It's being recorded, right? Okay.
Yeah.
3.
I understand. Got you. All right, running backs. We talked about Ty Williams, Baltimore Gio. We talked about Tony Jones Jr. He had like 8 catches or something in the preseason. He had a pretty solid numbers wise preseason. But again, he is Kamara. He's for Kamara owners. I wouldn't really want him.
Two preseason games. He went 12 carries, 106, and a touchdown. 5 catches, 24 yards. Sean Payton was talking him up. Could be the number 2. They thought they would cut Murray sooner. And, he's out of Notre Dame, 4-year letterman, 5'11", 224.
5'11", 224. That is big.
He's got a
for
good
a small
size.
guy.
He's got a good
yeah,
size.
That's like MJD.
And he was an undrafted free agent. So,
I love those guys.
He's kind of plugging away there, and he's got to have some sort of role. I mean, somebody to pick up. I mean, if you got Kamara or you want to, we'll start calling it. I don't want to call it the lottery ticket. I'm going to call it the scratch off.
The scratch off. There we got it.
I'm coming up with my own thing. Not the lottery ticket. I hate that.
Scratch off.
It's like a lottery ticket. I'll go with scratch off.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to be underneath there yet.
You don't know what's going to be happen. You might get a free ticket, or you might get $10,000. But yeah, he's going to be that kind of player.
Why waste money, people, on a free ticket? You're wasting more gas to take the stupid thing in. I have a big problem with people that dollar tickets.
Oh my god!
At least $2. At least cut the $1 was in half. The $2 ticket.
Ron, you scratch a dollar ticket, you win $5. What are you doing with the 5? Buying 5 more tickets.
Right.
Until you lose.
Exactly. It's a loser. It's a loser lottery. You've nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it.
So,
all right, running back. I'm with you. The next guy, Gallman, solid.
I mean,
he's just a solid player. Mike Davis is 28. Gets pounded. I think it's a good team, but Atlanta's going to make room for Gallman anyway.
We talked about last year, even when he replaced McCaffrey, he never averaged more than 11 carries a game. So there's another 10, 12, 50 touches there in Atlanta. So
right on.
Gallman could be the guy.
My watch list guys, we got Boston Scott. With Kenneth Gainwell. Again, that's why they're watching. We don't really know which one's going to come out of there. Scott had a good preseason. Gainwell looks like the rookie to be something. We got Ramondre Watch, again, finger problem. J.J. Taylor there as well.
Yep.
We're still looking to see what goes on and even to see what James White does.
And it might not get kind of figured out the first week because Stevenson might not play because he got a dislocated thumb.
Right. I also got J.J. Taylor and then Jake Funk. You got to watch the Jake Funk. I like Darrell Henderson too. I just think if Funk should be a guy that you say, as soon as Henderson starts getting wobbly, maybe at least take a look.
Well, they talked about the fact that, Belichick usually don't give up on players who still have gas, and he gave up on Sony Michel. So the question is, what's left in that tank?
I believe
and it could be Funk.
Because I'm not a big believer in Sony Michel either. All right, wide receiver, we got Gabe Davis. I'll switch. We go MVS over St. Brown.
I would go MVS over St. Brown.
And then I got Cole Beasley.
You love Cole Beasley.
I just think he's going to get 70. He only had 4 touchdowns or something. If he gets like 3 more touchdowns, he's the number 3 for sure on that team.
No doubt.
You want to have guys on those teams.
And I admit, they only got Emmanuel Sanders.
No running game either.
No running game. We're already talking that
he's like he's kind of the running game because he's just right there. He's right over the line. Here, Cole Beasley.
I'll give you that.
You just don't like him because he's a jerk. Is he a jerk? He's kind of a jerk, I guess. I also have Antonio Brown. He's a big jerk.
This is true.
So,
but it's not that I don't like Beasley, but I don't know.
Well,
I go for a little bigger goal than Beasley.
I understand. Well, Donnie Peoples.
There's something to be said for that floor, right?
I hear you. And having a guy on that team with a chance at a touchdown.
Right, because it is Buffalo, and if they get 50 touchdowns throwing. So.
Look at your roster. Do you have enough upside guys? You got, again, I like a nice split of anchor
solid,
guys,
solid and upside, right?
Give me enough
Maybe
guys.
I'd probably go 2 upside.
I'd probably lean upside too, but you still need some of those. Like you need a Cole Beasley once in a while. Donnie Peeps Jones. We love him. We just want OBJ to say, you know what, I'm going to start golfing. And then he'll be a star, I think. Sammy, I got my watch list, Sammy Watkins, Nico Collins, and this guy, have we talked about De'Ami Brown at all? Do you know who he is? De'Ami Brown. He is probably going to start week 1 in the Curtis Samuel spot for Washington.
Oh, yeah, they talk. Yes. Curtis Samuel might not play that first.
Right. We just saw a cut right there saying that Curtis said, I'm not feeling as good as I thought.
Good. They said he's probably not.
These guys don't say that. These guys say I can play. And I think that may be a problem. Again, watch him. I think it could be,
It could be something.
Fitz is going to throw the ball all over this year.
You got Logan, you got McKissick. They're definitely going to be the third down back. I bet if he gets 5, 6, 7 catches, he'll be a waiver pickup next week. McKissick.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't get drafted.
He caught 80-plus balls last year. Well,
right.
Alex Smith liked that check down.
Right.
Alex Smith was king of the check down when he was playing. So.
Right. All right, tight ends. You know who didn't go? Gronk didn't go in one of mine. So I'm going to put Gronk first.
That's dumb.
I think I only have it's probably me. I only have T.J. Hawkinson in that league. I didn't draft another one. It's me that didn't draft him.
I think that I saw that strategy in some of the leagues. Everybody who got one of those, we'll call it the first 5 or 6, didn't draft a backup tight end. They're like, I don't need the buys yet, and I'll take that roster spot with somebody that
if I take Kelsey,
could be my scratch ticket.
If I take Kelsey tomorrow, I'm not drafting another tight end.
See,
not doing it.
That's it. I
can't do it.
I always think of the rainy day. So, and I took my boy Gerald Everett because I love him. I'm still Gerald Everett.
He didn't get drafted in one. He was picked up the first week of Wyvern. No, he's gone. I wanted him. I wasn't going to get him. But I told you I missed the window there, stupid. Know when your waivers are.
I saw some things talking about.
Yeah, I did too. But
people read that and they're like,
Disley got some love too, dude. A few times. Disley got some love, and certainly Olsen did too.
Seattle threw their tight end like 20-some% of the time last year, which you would have thought with Disley and Olsen and they had some other guy run around that got hurt.
David Moore,
right? Somebody else. But there's not a third receiver on that team, and Russell Wilson does not throw the running backs. That's right.
No.
He does not throw the running backs. And there's really not a third receiver on the team where you go, wow. So that tight end position is going to be big for them. He knows the system. He came over with the offensive coordinator from the Rams. And Russell Wilson's been talking him up.
And you are absolutely. I mean, there's absolutely a chance that Everett's available in your league. Right?
Very good chance.
He just isn't in mine.
You're talking about, everybody's excited about that Goddard. And I'm like,
well,
Ertz
that's funny you should say that.
Running around.
Ertz was the most targeted player in the preseason. He is the most veteran receiver on the field.
Yeah.
Just because he's being kind of a jerk. Didn't get drafted in either one of my leagues, Robert. Neither one.
Right, but he's going to be a thorn in Goddard's side in terms of volume because he's going to siphon catches away from Goddard. Now, if Ertz wasn't around anymore, Goddard's probably a top 10 tight end. But last year, I had Goddard when Ertz got banged up, and then Ertz came back, and they're like, "Oh, you can still play Goddard." No, you can't. You couldn't play Goddard and Ertz together. It wasn't working. It wasn't enough volume.
I got the Ferkster next, filling in for the John, and we'll see. Again, if you need a guy, I'm putting him on my team before he gets. If you need a tight end, Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah.
Here's a guy. Well, again, certainly those 3 guys. I got Hooper next that didn't get drafted in one of mine, believe it or not. And then that's it there. My watch list, you got to take a look at what Chris Hernan's even going to do. He can't block at all. That's the thing. Hernan can't block at all.
No.
He's like he has to be out there. He has to be out there to catch passes. And if you can't block, that tight end got to hit the first guy, right? You got to block the first guy, and then unless you're Travis Kelce.
And the first time he lets Cousins get, crushed, Mike Zimmer is going to be like, all right, that's enough.
But people are going, well, yeah, Herndon maybe. I mean, I'd watch him. Then I got Schultz and Jarwin, see who wins that battle.
Right.
And go from there. All right. Now for our favorite part of the show. Oh. My favorite part of the show. This is where I get to shut up and either I get once in a while I get a good stat time in. I get stat time. I get to be what do you call it? I get to be the sidekick here, and I do love it. This is we've been doing this particular segment since Robert and I did it on the radio 4 years ago, probably. It's a segment called, I'll set you up. It's a segment called Keeler's Keys. And in Keeler's Keys, you're going to get 2. That's right, 2 players from each category, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, that are going to exceed their weekly output this week based on matchup or opportunity.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get started. It's hard. I'm going to go on record saying it's hard the first week to pick Keeler's Keys because we haven't seen any games yet. We don't know what's going on, but I'm going to give you some guys who ranked way too low and could be in your lineup this week. First player, somebody we talked about on waivers, Sam Darnold. Right now going on ranked as 21st quarterback. So he's not even a starter in 2 quarterback leagues right now. That's what they're saying. Don't start him in 2 quarterback leagues. Playing Carolina this week. I mean, he came on in his last.
Jets.
What's that?
He's on Carolina.
Oh, sorry.
He plays the Jets.
He's playing the Jets. Sorry, he's on Carolina.
It's the double. It's the double.
He
revenge
used to
game.
play the.
It's the double revenge game.
Anyway, sorry.
Double revenge game.
All right, but Sam Darnold, you're talking about weapons. McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall Jr., who we got to keep an eye on him. Keep an eye.
He's a big guy for slot.
That slot receiver.
CeeDee Lamb-ish.
CeeDee Lamb-ish.
Very tall slot guy.
Slot guy. They're playing the Jets. I mean, Sam Darnold, there's a little revenge feel to it.
Him and Robbie Anderson both.
And him and Robbie Anderson both. Right now, people are kind of downplaying Sam Darnold. He had a good last preseason game. They let him play like a half. He had a really good half. He got a lot of good timing with his receivers. Excuse me. And let's talk about the Jets' D that hasn't improved much from last year. I mean, they got a new coach. They got Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator from the 49ers, who did very well with the 49ers. But once again, you could scheme all you want, but if you don't have the players, what are you going to do? The Jets really haven't improved. I looked at their roster. They really haven't improved. They haven't brought in a lot of defensive help. They didn't draft a lot of defensive help. They got so many holes that it's going to take a while. Last year, the Jets, 25th overall defense. They allowed 275 yards passing last year on average and 28.6 points. Carolina is going to put some points up. Sam Darnold, we're looking at least about 250, 260, and at least 2 touchdowns. And I think he's going to be a little better option than some of like Daniel Jones, And then there's some really tough matchups this week for some of the quarterbacks. So if you're in a 2 quarterback league, you should think about Sam Darnold. My second quarterback, he's right there, ranked 22nd. He's playing Detroit this week. It's Jimmy Garoppolo, pretty boy Garoppolo. He's got a pretty face. He's been banged up. He got hurt last year. Last 3 years, Ron, stat time. His quarterback rating when he did play, 3 years ago, 90. 2 years ago, 102. Last year, 92.4. It ain't like Garoppolo struggled when he's played. He's got hurt 2 of the last 3 years. And obviously they're looking to try down the road. They saw an opportunity to upgrade, and they're thinking about it. Garoppolo's going to play this week against Detroit. He's got Brandon Ayuk, Mostert, Sermon, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Mohamed Sanu. He's got weapons. He got the coach. 49ers looking to turn it around. They had kind of an off year. A lot of injuries last year. A lot of injuries. And they're playing our friends, the Detroit Lions. And I think this is going to be a common theme for Keeler's Keys this year.
We're going to follow the Lions.
Because you follow the Lions. They have done nothing on paper to improve their defense. They were ranked, stat time, 32nd ranked defense. You know how many teams there are?
32.
32. They're the worst defense.
Hoping for expansion.
Last year, they allowed 4,558 yards passing, 38 touchdown passes, which is the most in the league. They were 30th against the pass, averaged 284 a game. Against the run, they were 28th. They're allowing 135 yards rushing. So you could run the ball on them, you could pass the ball on them. When we get to our betting, I'm going to talk about the 49ers.
You can make money on them.
They are so much better a team than the Detroit Lions 49ers. I think Garoppolo's going to throw for at least 2 touchdowns, maybe 3. I think it's going to be a blowout. They're going to probably score 35, 42 points. And you're going to see the running game in the second half, but I think Garoppolo show his efficiency and have a good game, and he's definitely somebody considering 2 quarterback leagues.
And definitely, guys, again, I love to go cheap at quarterback on my
daily,
weeklies.
We're talking about daily stuff, too.
These are guys
that you can easily lock in with Pat Mahomes.
Right.
Right? You put a Garoppolo with Mahomes, and then or Josh Allen with Sam Darnold, and then you got something. So let's move on to running back. A little hard to go for stretches right now because we don't know out of those,
with the roles
30, 40 ranked running backs who's going to have a possibility. So we're going to go with guys that probably in the flex spot right now that could be easily RB2s. So I got Ronald Jones against Dallas. I know you're not big on Ronald Jones. And who is? But last year, he had a kind of a sneaky season.
He scored a bunch.
978 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns. Fournette averaged 3.8 yards per carry. So Ronald Jones was clearly the better running back, and they're going to be on national TV, and they're going to be. I think they're going to be out ahead.
And Gio's hurt.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for helping.
I like
Gio's hurt, so there's really not that 3-headed competition, and they're playing our friends, the Cowboys. Now we got to talk stat time with the Cowboys. Who was 31st against the run last year? I'm going to tell you, the Cowboys. Now they tried to improve their linebacking this year. They drafted Micah Parsons. They're going to They're going to try to do something a little different with their linebackers, but is that going to really improve everything? No. They still got a kind of a sieve at running. And I think Tampa Bay, Bruce Arians, smart guy, is going to attack them on the ground. They allowed 158.8 yards per game last year on the ground, Dallas. You just pounded Dallas. You beat them up physically.
They wouldn't score either, though.
Right. Last year they were struggling with the quarterback. So I like Ronald Jones. I think he's guaranteed touchdown on Thursday night. Ronald Jones, the second, I might add. The second guy, running back, I have number 20. He's ranked number 27, Trey Sermon. Why? He's playing for the 49ers. Why? He's playing behind Mostert. It's Detroit. They're going to be beating down Detroit. We talked about how bad their defense is. Second half, this is going to be one of those guys. He's going to get 15 carries, probably 75 yards and a touchdown in the second half. Just pounded on Detroit because they don't want to put Mostert in because they don't want him getting hurt. And I think 49ers are going to blow out Detroit. They're going to be running the ball, pounding them, overcome. Trey Sermon, definitely somebody to look at an RB2 if you got him on your bench.
Love him.
Let's move on to wide receivers. Ranked number 39 this week, Marquez Callaway, somebody we talked about versus Green Bay. I mean,
how do you sit him?
How do you sit him after that preseason? He's ranked 39th. I looked at some of the wide receivers that got ranked ahead of him. I would not start these people.
Volume alone is going to keep.
Volume alone
doesn't worry Green Bay's good defense. They have good defense.
I seen Jarvis Landry ahead of him. I seen even Marvin Jones. I saw these kind of guys that are going to be in. Those players have competition. This guy's got no competition. They're gonna have to get a little shootout-y with Green Bay. They're gonna be in Jacksonville. They're not in the Dome. Winston loves to throw the ball outfield. He showed that in the preseason, and he showed that when he was gunslinging with Tampa Bay and threw for 5,000 yards that one year. I mean, he threw 30 picks.
Yeah, I think I had him that year. It was like, just keep throwing there, dude. Just like,
would you stop throwing picks? You're doing well with the yardage. I
remember being at the bar, going just watching with.
I like Marquez Callaway, and then my other wide receiver ranked 51st, McCole Hardman from Kansas City. They're playing Cleveland at home. Kansas City last 5 openers, if I average almost 38 points a game, you give Andy Reid time. He gets you ready. He knows how to attack you. He's got a plan. This is what he does in the first game. Kansas City's going to come out gunning for Cleveland. He's got Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. He's probably the third option with a Hall of Fame type quarterback. I like it. He kind of won that second job. He's got the talent. He's got the speed. He's got the speed. He's got the draft pedigree. Somebody to think about in your flex.
Can I add that I really did seem like they were trying to get him involved in the preseason.
They were definitely trying to get him involved. So think about that. At tight end, we talked about. I got a number 14.
14.
He's ranked 14th. Gerald Everett.
They
don't have Everett in the top 10. He'll be in the top 10 next week, guaranteed. He's got Metcalf and Lockett. They're playing the Colts. Now the Colts got this reputation as decent defense. They were 20th against the pass last year. So you can pass the ball on them, 241 yards. Everybody's talking about they're going to keep Russell Wilson in check. Well, their defense is all right. It's not that great. It's not like this world-beating defense.
They're getting older, both of those. They're getting the reputation D.
They're getting the reputation D. And I see Goddard, Gesicki, even Noah Fant ahead of Gerald Everett. I'm sorry, I love Noah Fant, but they got too many mouths to feed there. I like Gerald Everett. I think people are going to, after week 1, go, oh, this is why you've been talking about Gerald Everett. Oh, I finally woke up. Be out in front of it. Don't be behind it. Don't chase the ball.
Put him in your daily.
Go get the ball. And then my other tight end, he's ranked 16th this week. It's Rob Gronkowski. How is Rob Gronkowski ranked 16th? It's a national game with Tom Brady.
You know he's going to get him one.
You know he's going to get him a touchdown.
I'm going to tell you folks right now, I am going to bet right now. I'm going to bet the TD. I'm betting the Gronk TD. You know you're going to get plus 200.
We talked about Dallas. We talked about Dallas's defense. They're 31st against the run.
They're getting him one. They love him. Commercial. They split the commercial money.
Last year against tight ends, they were 13th versus 2 points allowed to the tight end. I think you're going to run. Ron.
Yes.
Run the ball.
Run it.
Run the ball. Run the ball. Then what's coming? Play action
pass.
Gronk. Touchdown. Book it.
Yeah.
So next week we'll be laughing and going, yes, we told you Rob Gronkowski would get a touchdown.
I love it.
So that's Keeler's Keys. First week's a little rough. We don't go too deep, but we're going to try to get some guys in there. So
I'm telling you, these are guys, again, during the week, I keep a percentage of how many times they get hits and misses. And a hit is double-digit scoring. You get to 10 on some of these guys again. Some of these, we're talking the long shots here in many ways, or guys out of favor, right? He's talking about guys that aren't even supposed to be in your lineup.
Not even
from the experts.
I guarantee you, Marquez Callaway will be in the inside
top 36,
top
sure.
25, maybe 20 by next week after they see what he does this week for the Saints.
He looked incredible.
Yeah,
I think we can break it here.
Believe your eyes.
I think we're going to cut it right here, folks. And we're going to come back tomorrow. We got a great show for you. We're going to go through each game, game by game, through the slate. Talk about game script, sits, plays, how's everybody feeling. And then, of course, we get to our at the end, our survivor picks, our wager bets in NFL. If you guys don't know, we pick 3 games each week. You'll see a lot of folks out there, they bet every game.
They're nuts.
They try to, for one, let me tell you this.
Especially against spread.
Between you and me and the 3, what good is that information to you? They're not going to get them all right, so which one do you pick when they pick every game? I see it on the shows. They pick every game. We pick the best 3 we can find, over, under, or the number. And
even if they go 12-4, you might pick the 4.
Right.
That they lost.
You're not going to bet them all, are you?
Right.
Crazy. I don't. Yeah, $2 on all,
yeah.
please. I guess it's a lot of action. I guess.
A lot of action.
But I am really excited about the new format again. We're going to do this as a 1 hour, twice a week. So hopefully get you guys engaged. Talk to us, let us know, and we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock with a show jam-packed with game-by-game analysis. Robert, rock and roll, guys. Thanks so much.
Good luck, week 1.
Week 1, guys. Get on it. We'll be.
Make sure your lineup's set.
Yeah, check your lineups, check injuries.
Check your injuries. Look at what's going on.
Before 11:59. All right, folks. Bye.
Bye.